guys. Sorry about that, I was just making sure the live stream was working. So today, I went on the Jointed Rail website and was surprised to see that the entire SD70ACU pack had been released. There are NS variants, there's the CP, there's the CP Heritage Unit, the CP Veterans Unit, the... oh wait, I think that's all for the ACUs. They also released the NS ACCs and the Primer ACC. There's also a Primer ACU with Union Pacific paint. That's for NS though. They did release the AC 44C6M, but I personally think that Railroad Mods has the best AC44, so I'm gonna wait for them to release it before I buy it. Nothing against Jointed Rail, they did a really good job. It's a little bit expensive, and I'd rather go with Railroad Mods because I know that their stuff's amazing. I did have a couple problems when I downloaded this. The mesh points in the cab were all screwed up, but after I re-downloaded it, everything's working, which is good. I don't like that the bell has a air sound at the end. It's an E-bell, there's no air. I'm sure that there's a way to easily remove that, and I will probably do that at some point. But I really like the customability you can do with this, with the visors being able to be adjusted, and the front door, of course. You can also open the front door on the inside, so if you open it and then go inside the cab and look down, it'll be open, and then you can also close it. Oh wait, no, this is the interior cab door. There's two cab doors, I forgot. So you should be able to see up into the cab. Yeah, that's pretty neat. You can do the windows, of course, and the back door, but I'm not gonna... well, I guess I can real quick for you. It's nothing special. But most of the Jointed Rail stuff I have is old, so... this is the newest engine I have from Jointed Rail. Not only like newest on the site, but like newest in terms of real life engines. These ACUs were rebuilt in the late 2010s, I believe. And the only other stuff from Jointed Rail I have are like the Max and a couple of the Dash 9s. I've noticed that their Gevos and the Aces, they're really outdated. Like, so this engine here has a totally new cab. I'll put it next to the KCS Ace. You guys can tell the difference that they've redone it. I put Ace, why did the Mac come up? So not only if you look at the windows you can tell the huge difference, but like just the details and the shape of the nose. What always bothered me about the Aces is they were so flat. Like, look at the nose on this, it's so flat. Then look at this one, it's actually a triangle like it should be. Given this model over here is about 10 years older than this one, but still I think the difference is incredible. And of course this does have custom sounds. I put custom sounds on every engine. I hate how they sound from the factory. This is actually the prime mover that comes with the CP. It's the EMD 16710 G3B, and something you guys should know about me is, oh, I just realized that railroad crossing's not working. We've got cars going through. Maybe if I... hold on a second, I'm gonna do a trick. Okay, that didn't work. Hold on. Okay, that's not working either. Alright. Anyways, forget I did that. I'm a huge EMD 16710 fan, but mostly a G3B 710 fan, which is what the Macs use, and coincidentally the ACU. This is not actually what the EMD G3B sounds like at idle. This is notch 3. And to demonstrate that, I have a... well, hell, I'll just get the CP90, because it's the same engine, it's just before it was rebuilt, I think. This is what they sound like at idle. Let me put this at notch 3 and you'll hear what I mean. Let me move this farther away so it doesn't overpower the sound of this one. So yeah, this one actually idles at notch 3. But even though it's not totally realistic, this does actually happen sometimes. When the trains come to a stop or when they're building up air pressure and stuff like that, the engines will actually rev up. What would be really cool is if the engine would go from like this notch to 2 and then maybe 1 and then idle and then back up to 2, back up. It'd be kind of cool if it would change notches. I don't believe there's a way you could code that unless the loop for notch 1 was a good 2 or 3 minutes long, and then you'd run into a problem because when you went to go into notch 2, if the engine was already in notch 3, you know, it would just create a lot of problems. That's the thing that does suck about simulators, is they cannot function exactly like real life. There are too many variables. It's just not possible. There'd be too much coding involved. You'd have to have something that would tell the game what notch you were in and to go to a certain notch. It's the same thing with notching up. Like in real life, if I put the engine in notch 4, it'll go straight to notch 4. In this game, if I put the engine in notch 4, it's going to go through 2, then it's going to go through 3, and then it's going to go through 4, because that's just the way it's coded. And there's really no way around that, I don't think. You'd have to make an obscene amount of prime mover sound effects. Because right now you make 1, and then you make the transition from 1 to 2, and then you make 2, then you make the transition from 2 to 3, but then you also have to make the transition down from 2 to 1. So it's already hard enough to make prime mover sounds that sound decent. So, but I give Jointed Rail credit. I really do like this. This is one of the best 710s that I've ever seen released besides the NARM, which is the one that was on that 9043 I showed you guys earlier. And in fact, I actually like it so much, I made it the default prime mover. So if you go to any one of my Jointed Rail SD70s, all of them are going to have that as the prime mover. So we'll do the Mac, Executive Mac. It's got it. H2. It's got it. And then obviously I already showed you guys the KCS, but... So yeah, but I'm going to have to start implementing this one now. I didn't know that it was going to be so good. But that was also partially the reason I bought this instead of the other ones, is because I wanted to get one that like was actually makes sense to buy. I don't like to buy heritage units because yeah, I think they're cool, but when I'm rail fanning, you know, what are the chances I'm going to see a heritage unit every day? So what I like to do is just buy the standard paint scheme, and maybe someday if I get bored, I'll buy the heritage unit and throw it in a consist or have it lead or something. It's just, you know, I live in Iowa and we have CP 260 and 261 and then 5 something, and I see it sometimes, and they have these ACUs on there a lot, and so I was really happy that these got released so I can model it in Trainz. It's nice. One thing I should point out is I haven't done anything to this engine yet, so everything you're seeing in this video, this is how the model comes. I haven't altered any sounds yet. I did, however, do one thing, and it was the E-bell. The E-bell from the, I guess you could say from the factory, but from Jointed Rail was so loud that it was just overpowering the horn. So all I did was I exported the bell file, which if you guys want to see how that's done, it's really easy. You go to the content manager, and I'm just going to go to today because that's when I downloaded this. CP-ACU, and then list dependencies, and then find the horn sound, which it should just say K3 on it. I'm blind. There it is. And you open it, and your bell sound is going to be idle 1. So that's the bell sound. The horn stuff's all in here. I have to say, this is a really nice horn, but I'm generally not a fan of 3-part horns just because of the glitches that come with 3-part. I will put up with it for whistles because they sound amazing, but most of the time with my horns, I like to make them just 2-part because they're more playable that way. They don't sound as good, but Trainz just, they really need to figure out a better system for incorporating 3-part horn sounds, because the gap in between the loops is what ruins it. Like, listen. If I'm moving away, you should be able to tell. You can hear that little cut right there in the middle. Not right there. Hang on. It's not that bad, but the thing is, what happens is when you hold the horn for too long, so like after it gets into that second loop, you have to wait a couple seconds to play it again, so it's really hard to do 2 shorts in a row. I guess this one's not as bad. I'm just saying, usually I'm not a fan of the 3-port horns, but I do really like this one from Jointed Rail. I'm gonna say it right now, they get a 10 out of 10. If I was reviewing this, I'm really just showing this because there were no other videos on YouTube. And I think it's really important that we get people to start making videos of this stuff, because a lot of times new content will come out on a website and it's like $15 or $20, and you might be thinking, oh, I'd love to get this, but man, I don't really want to waste $20 if it's not worth it. Well, I took the leap, and I want you guys to see that it's definitely worth the $14.99. I got a little bit of a discount because I had points saved up on Jointed Rail, but definitely all of these ACUs are amazing, and you'll see through this video. I haven't spent too much time running this engine because the bell was driving me crazy. Speaking of which, I got to get back to showing you guys how that's done. All you do is you download Audacity, which is right here. It's a free tool, and you'll just... I can open it, why not? All you have to do is just drag it in here, and then highlight, effect, volume, amplify, and just move it down, and it'll quiet it up. It's that easy. I do this with horns and prime mover sounds sometimes too when they get too loud, because I like all my engines to be around the same volume, and sometimes there's just stuff that's way too loud, and other times stuff's just really quiet, so sometimes you need to make it louder. But I think right now the way I like it is when the horn is blowing, the E-bell, you can hear it, but just barely. Before, it was almost like the E-bell was as loud as the horn, which is not accurate at all. But I'm going to go ahead and stop yapping. We've been talking about this engine for over 10 minutes now, so we're going to go ahead and get the 7041 on the move here. Guess I should show you guys what we're running today. I don't know exactly how many cars this is, but this is a loaded CP grain train of some kind, and we have an AC44 here on the rear shoving. And I had the DPU light on. I don't know why it went off, but now that we're back, yeah, see, it says it was on, but it wasn't. It's so weird. And then these are closed. Good. Alright, so we'll head up here to our ACU, and in the cab we go. We'll sit like we're the engineer here. These engines have got to be comfortable. I mean, look at that chair. I bet the engineers that run these are so glad that they rebuilt them, because when they were 9043s, they were probably uncomfortable because they didn't have the isolated... Wait, they did have the isolated cab, but they didn't have the side controls. They had those desktop controls, which I've heard from a lot of engineers are just a nightmare, and they really like the side ones better. From the way I run trains, obviously I'm using my keyboard, so I like having the controls in front of me, but I guess when you're going down the road, it probably is more comfortable to have everything over here where you can just reach over with your arm. But, has custom air brake sounds too from the sound of it. Alright, we're gonna get underway here. It's really hard to get the train going from a dead stop without causing rough handling to come up. Figured that was gonna happen. Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. Look at this. Well, at least the bell thing works. I've never seen that on an engine before. That's crazy. The in real life, the little bell icon and the horn icon come on when you are running the engine. That's so cool. Also, I made a mistake. I was trying to go down that line, and instead I accidentally went straight, so we're gonna have to back up. Guess I should probably just make a full application here. Yeah, rough handling. I'm getting so sick of the game telling me I'm doing rough handling, because it's the game's fault most of the time. So like you guys saw when I was trying to start the train, I put the engine in notch 1 and release the brakes, and nothing happens, and the reason is because there's a glitch. When the train sits dormant for long enough, or when you just spawn in the train, it's almost like the train is locked, and in order to get it to move, you have to notch it up to like 2 or 3, and then all of a sudden it will just jolt forward, and I mean in real life obviously that would damage all the knuckles, but it's so annoying because it won't do that now. Like, you'll watch. So right now I'll release the brakes here. We'll wait for the flow and the equalizer to level out before we push back. But you'll notice now, if I press 1, the engine... Well, this is a really heavy train, and I think we may be backing up a slight grade. I can't really tell. Forgot to signal that we were backing up. That's my bad. This is actually openable from in here. Nice. Does it open outside too? Oh. Does it open? Yes, it does. This is not advisable, but I'm going to apply the engine brake, and that will allow the cars to stretch themselves out so we can get most of the slack out. Using the train physics to my advantage, that should make it easier to get rolling again. You know, this is a CTC controlled switch. So I'm going to just make sure that we're aligned for a while. I think we're going to be fine. If something goes wrong, I'll just throw it on the way, but we should be alright. Oh, yeah, there's another glitch. So when I go really far away from the engines, when I come back, it's really quiet in the cab, and then as soon as I come out, it gets way louder. There's no difference between the sound in the cab and outside the cab. That really bothers me. I wish that there was, because there really should be. And yes, the doors are all closed, even the front door. Not this one, though. I don't think we can, yeah, we can't move that one. But that wouldn't make a difference. But there are certain limitations to trains, I understand that, so... okay, I think we're good to go now. Make sure I got my headlights on, yep. Now we should be good to go here. See, now in notch 1 we're actually rolling. This is what should have happened the first time, but... I think most of the reason you get rough handling is when you have a DPU, because since the DPU doesn't work like it should, the DPU is actually responding to my throttle input. So right now the DPU is in notch 2, and it's about to be in 3. what that causes is the train's almost a sandwich. So you've got tractive effort being applied from the rear that is equal to, or sometimes if the engine has more horsepower. We did not throw the switch. Oh, thank God we did. Wow, I thought we were going down the wrong track again. But as I was saying, if you apply more tractive effort, if, like, let's say I have a AC44 at the back, but I only have a Mack in the front, that's 400 more horsepower, and that's more tractive effort that's getting put down. So you're going to be smushing the cars in the middle of the train, and it'll cause rough handling. I guess what causes it is when the train cars move at all. So, like, they expect me to be able to run an entire train without the knuckles ever having slack in them. It's ridiculous. And the horn sounds really good while you're in the cab. The little cut that it makes, the little cut sound, only really is noticeable when you're moving fast. And the reason is, so in real life what happens is the sound waves, when the train's coming at you, they speed up. But what happens in this game is the game just raises the pitch. So what that does is it messes up the loop, and it creates a little cut in the sound. Once we get up to track speed, I will show you guys what I'm talking about. We're gonna hold to 15 because I know I'm coming off that sharp curve. And we're also crossing over, and I'm not sure what the limits are supposed to be. Such a nice engine. This thing really looks incredible. I don't even have maximum graphics on, and look at it. It's a nice engine. I think Audi Moore is one of the main developers. He did a really good job with it. Looks insane. Not sure why I just heard a GE compressor in the background. You know, something I've always wondered, I don't think I know what EMD's compressor sounds like. I mean, obviously everyone knows what the GE one sounds like because of the whoop, but what does the EMD one do? Does it still make that sound? Do they all make that sound? I don't know. See, there it was again. I don't know if you guys heard that. Anyone wondering what route I'm on? This is my Saginaw sub. It's from Wit Simulations. All I did to it was go through and add all these crossing signals and whistle posts because they were non-existent. I'm assuming because they used an outdated version of those crossings and they wouldn't work with 2019, so I just went through and updated it. Definitely my favorite route to run on. I wish there were more routes like this, but I just like it because it's American, it's a decent length, it's got a few cities, it's got yards, you can do anything you want on here. I don't like coal country because it's too short and there's just so many grades. Tidewater's okay, but again, it's really short and there's just not really a lot to do and it gets boring. This route is so big, 20 miles for a route in Trainz is pretty good. Train Simulator, you get a couple 100 miles out of a route, but Trainz, it's hard to get more than 10-15 miles, but this one's 20, I think. And that's not even accounting for all the spurs that this thing has on it. Hate that frickin' bell sound. It shouldn't be making that hissing sound. There is no air. See if you guys can hear the cut now. I'll come up to this crossing. could definitely hear it there. A lot of crossings. Holy crap. 7041 east. Oh, there's our DPU. Pushing hard. And we're gonna get out again. I liked that last time. It was cool. Man, I'm loving this engine. This was definitely worth $15. You know, I just had surgery today, so I'm out of work for a couple weeks, and I've already been struggling to keep up with my car payments, but I don't care. $15 for this was gonna keep me busy. I love this engine, it's amazing. Now they need to redo all the SD70 Aces, since they redid this cab, because I'm pretty sure this is what the cab looks like inside of an Ace. In fact, I may actually just modify it myself to go in an Ace. I don't think it would be that hard to do. Oh, we got the bell glitch. I don't know how to make my mouse disappear, because I'd love to do these drone shots for some of my videos. The mouse gets in the way. I don't know how to make it disappear. Tried downloading a couple things and they were all scams. Should be about to the end of this double track portion. Right after this signal, yeah. stupid car pulled in my way. I was getting a good video there. Guess we'll set up at one more crossing here before we pull into our final destination. I may do a longer video later. I was just feeling up. Like I said earlier, I've been in surgery today, so I was kind of nauseous earlier, and I was just feeling good enough to get up and play a little bit. So I'm gonna go eat some food here. I'm gonna just park the train down here at the station we've got in town here, and that'll conclude my first look at the ACU. If you guys have any questions, shoot them in the comments. I'll be sure to do more videos with this engine. But you know, I got an idea. Here's what we could do to get a red here. Just cross that over. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this quick little stream. Just a quick little 5-mile run with the ACU. Definitely more content to come. I'll be doing a couple of modifications to the engine. I may tweak the prime mover sound just a little bit, because I don't know how I'm gonna like it always being revved up like this. I actually might make it louder, because when I pair it up with other engines, it's kind of hard to hear it. It's kind of a quiet sound. The horn I may tweak a little bit as well. I might turn it into a 2-part, just depends, but I'm gonna leave it for now. It's pretty good. The bell and the cab is what's really annoying me, so I'm gonna go try to fix that. And but yeah, 10 out of 10. Even with those small complaints I have, I still think this is an outstanding model. One thing I wish it did have, though, and one thing I wish I could figure out how to do, is what my CP9043 has. Check this out. So on my 9043, which is the stock version of this engine in real life before it was rebuilt, when I press the horn button, the bell is automatically triggered. There's no way to get the horn to sound without the bell sounding as well. I don't know how that's scripted, but I really like it because that's how it is in real life, and I get sick of having to turn the bell on myself, you know? So yeah, I'll look into that though, see if I can figure something out. So our DPU 9804 back here, still protected. But yeah, very nice engine. I will be spending a lot of time running it. Worth the money. I might get the C6M. We'll see if my wallet can lose a few pounds, I guess. It sucks that they released everything separately. That's what Railroad Mod does, and it really annoys me. Instead of releasing all of the Union Pacific AC-44s in one pack, they release the flag, then the shield, then the flag and the shield, then the CNW variant, then the SP variant. Like, it's just, I know it's how they make money, but man, it's annoying. But anyways, I guess until next time, thanks for any of you guys who are watching, and like I said, don't be afraid to leave a comment below, and see you guys next time.